Hey guys, I'm Amy and you've landed on Belle Loves Bargains. That's my cow Effingham, and sometimes he co-hosts with me. He's got a lot to say. This channel is Dollar Tree and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25, people. So stick around, consider subscribing, and don't forget to give me that big thumbs up. And if you want to know more about the 4 uploads I do every week, just check out the description box for more information. Enjoy! Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Why do I have to hum all that part? I don't know. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. And little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Are you singing? I can hear you. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Still gotta hum it, right? Does anybody know the next verse? Most of us don't. Little darling, the smile's returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. But it's spring almost. Here comes the sun, ba-na-na-na-da. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Okay, hi guys, welcome to Belle's Bargains. You'll be singing that all day. I'm on a Beatles kick right now. Okay, anyway, I am here to give you some crafts. What? Yeah, I know. Hey, if you're new to the channel, you should know this channel is a Dollar Tree channel. Dollar Tree, 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 Dollar Tree. And so all of my crafts are 100% made from Dollar Tree supplies and supplies and the crafts, like everything's Dollar Tree. Okay, my glasses are so dirty. This is crafting here today. Sorry guys, I've been crafting all day. So it's like, get it up out of my way. All right. So let's dive into what I have for you today. Technically it's themed Thursday. I don't really have a theme except it's Easter. How about that? And this is it. I can't do any more Easter. I shouldn't say that because I really want to do my Easter tier tray. There might be one more. And I know it's super close to Easter, but here's what happened. Because Easter's so early this year, it's like, it just feel like we didn't have time to get Easter out. And Easter is still out at all the DTs. Like all the DTs. All right. So let's dive in. Let me show you the first thing today. I think it's the house. So for my besties who watch my channel, you know, I made a Halloween house, a Christmas house, and now this is my Easter house. What is so cute? Can you see it? Okay, what's that in the windows? Wait. Yeah, it's little peeps. Okay, I'm going to show you the video of how I made this. Sorry, glue strings everywhere. But the best part about this, which I think I say in my voiceover, is I didn't have to paint it. Like I used the house exactly the color it is. I mean, my Halloween one was like 2-story and scary. And the Christmas one was for gingerbready. But this one, no paint, no mate, no fuss. This is pretty much like just gluing stuff on it. Watch. We start with the doll houses. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 of them together. And then I'm going to get out my peeps lights. I think there's 10 peeps on here. And I end up putting it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows or something like that. So I have some extra peeps because I take them off so I can put them in the front of the house. So I'm stringing them through the back door. And then I'm going to start hot gluing them into position on the windows, so that there's one on each side window. That's just on the one house, not on the back house. I don't do it on the back house. I just do it on the front house. And that's just going to put little bunnies inside the windows. Super cute. And put one at the door. I'm going to open the door, put that there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do 7 bunnies in the windows, and then I have 3 extra bunnies that they just pull right off the lights. Super easy. That I could position in the front of the house as part of the decor. So I took those extra lights and just shoved them up in the attic like that. Now I'm putting my house together,
And I realized it didn't, the front door is like open, so I just stick a little glue on a stick and put it back there so it stays in a permanent position. We're just going to glue it down on this sign. I didn't do anything to the sign because I know I'm going to cover it with my faux greenery stuff. So now the top of the house, see how it's going to gap? So I decided to take two little pieces here that are just some of the big furniture, plastic furniture for the houses. And I used it basically as my bonding agent to keep the two houses together on the top there. Works perfect, and it looks like a little chimney. But I just love that I don't even have to paint this house. Like, no painting. I was trying different things for my chimney there. Anyway, ended up going with the easy one. Okay, so we've got that all on, and now we just really just have to decorate it and put the stuff all over it, which is just a matter of choice as to what you're going to do. So those are those greenery squares. I just glued them all down to the bottom and covered the whole bottom of the sign. And now I'm going to get to making my fence. I didn't show you that, didn't need to, because it was just gluing it down. So these are just skewers from the cooking section, and using shoe polish, you could use anything. You could use a furniture marker to stain them up. And then I'm going to take my carrots and I'm just going to run a little bit of the shoe polish on them just to give them a little dimension. So just on the tops and a little bit on the sides. Nothing major. You don't even have to do this if you didn't want to, but I want them to look a little bit more realistic. So I'm taking hot glue. This is that pebble stuff that you buy in the vase section, and I'm going to make a little path out of this bright greenish yellow rocks, right? Because it just fits right in with all these bright colors. Then I just dumped it for the ones that didn't stick in the glue, and then just finished it up. Just did a little curvy path out to the front of our sign here, which is now our base, right? It's pretty simple. There you go. Just hot glue and push it on there, and you got yourself a little path. Pretty easy. Okay, and then I'm going to go to building our fence because, what are you growling at, Jax? Sorry, guys. So now that I have that, I know where my break in my fence is for the entry is, right? So I just measure it out, cut the two of them, put them down, and I'm going to take one carrot on the end there to start it, and then flip it over, and now I can line it up with the section that I'm putting this on. So put one on either end, and then I can space it out, right? Now go to the middle, so we're even, and then put one in between there. I could have just done like that, but I liked it with a few more on it. Okay, and then there you go. Now I can glue that down, and I'm going to finish the rest of it, but I use this as my guide for spacing, this first piece I would lay in front of it. And there you go, now I've got fence all the way around it. So now it's just a matter of putting the rest of the stuff on. So this is one of the Easter trees that had the little eggs on it. I just took the base off and glued it down back of the house. I'm going to take two other of the Easter trees that don't have Easter eggs on them, but I don't want them all the same height. So I'm actually going to cut them down. Sorry, I'm sort of out of frame here. I'm going to cut them down and make them a little shorter. I used one of the moss-covered rocks there to help stand that taller tree up underneath it. Then I cut it. You just cut and squish them, flip them back and forth, and they break off. And three trees, right? So put that one on the other side. And this was just, again, it's just decorating it up at this point. I think it's so cute. And I'm going to take some of the little furniture piece there, make a little bench in front of the window. I'm taking moss-covered rocks. I'm going to cut one in half and put it on the side of the house, like it's almost like a bush going up there. And then put a few of them in the front because this looks like greenery, like a bush. Then I cut it in half again, which, you know, they're just styrofoam on the inside, so it's super easy to cut them, and you just shape them however you want. And then we're going to just keep putting stuff in here. So the little peeps start going in, and the mushrooms. I had a fairy tree there. I decided not to use it. It didn't look right. So in these mushroom packages, they have two sizes, the small and then a little bit larger. I opted to use the small because to scale it was better. And I just start putting them around. I'm going to pull them all off of the wire here. I don't need them on the wire. So I'm not putting them into a floral arrangement, right? And then at one point I take like three of them and put them together in little trio sets and put them all over this thing. I used all of those mushrooms in the smaller size. And then I'm going to finish putting the peeps on. I add another moss rock, and I have to, on the screen here, see where I have the leftover bits of the trees that I cut down. So I'm going to use those because why not? I can make them look like, sort of sparkly bushes. So you're going to see me do that, and just I'm going to explain while I'm putting the mushrooms on. I literally just sort of rolled them into a ball, and you'll see me do that. Here I'm taking another moss rock and putting it down. My frame is catching off my table there. Did you guys see Jax run by underneath? Anyway, again, this is just however you want to do it and what you have in your stash. There goes another peeps. Let's put him on the walkway. And we've got one on the bench and some more rocks. Let's put those out. Some more mushrooms. And then I'll take these leftover tree parts and I'm going to use my pliers to sort of put them into a ball. And then I have to trim them because they're just they just look like some sort of stargazing thing right now. So I trim them down with scissors. And then it's like sort of a sparkly bush that matches the trees. Okay, that's it. That's all I did for this one. I hope you guys like this one. I think it came out really cute. And just the fact that to put the peeps in the window and using the carrots to make the fence, I just think is just too adorable. And I think maybe next one will be a 4th of July one because that'll be fun to do. Okay, so that's it. I like it. I hope you guys like it too. Let's get on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, this was a little tedious, but really not. I mean, it was so easy, and it's just a sign, and I just glued down that. I just realized I probably should have painted this. Oh, I'm not gonna stop, right? But I love it. So obviously there's lights in it, so you can turn lights on, lights off, whatever you want. Just think it's super cute. But the carrot fence is absolutely the best. Okay. So that's sort of a whimsical, I guess I would say, whimsical Easter thing. So next, how about I do a modern Easter, Christmas. I said Christmas tonight, whimsical Easter. This is sort of a a modern Eastern one. Eastern. Gosh! Look at this. It's so cute. Is this not the cutest thing ever? I really like this. Okay, so this started out because those garlands, for some reason I bought a ton of the garlands with the checked bunnies and carrots and whatever on them. I had like 6 of them. I don't know why I got so many. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, I did. And so I'm like trying to craft my stash. I'm really working on crafting my stash. I'm doing a good job of it right now. And so I wanted to use up some of these things, but I didn't want to make another garland. So watch.
There's the garlands. So I had all of these bits and pieces of them from crafts in the past, and so I just found 3 like in each one of the designs. So here's the carrots, and I'm just using wood glue and a dab of hot glue to put them together. And I'm going to put all 3 of these together, leaving 1 egg orange, the carrot orange, and then the checkered, black and white checkered bunnies, and then a black and white checkered egg. And that was because I was going to balance this color with just the black and white with just the pop of this orange. So I got to remove the tails off the bunnies so I can glue them together, but of course I'm going to put a new tail on them. Once I got those all done and dried, now I'm taking my black chalk paint and I'm painting the sides. I went ahead and used paint on this so I got good coverage because that piece of wood is already painted in nice dark black. So I want to match that. So I painted the sides and the back. And then here's my welcome sign. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to paint just the little sides on this sign and then the back of it. And now we're going to put it together. So this was super easy. The welcome sign just going on the front of our board here. And then the way to do this was that's sort of centered, not exactly, but centered enough. Then the bunny is in the back all the way to the side. Now I'm going to get its tail off of this barrette. I always buy these when I see them for my Easter bunnies. And put a little colorful tail on there. I love this pop of color. I think it's super, super cute. and then my carrot is going to go in front of the sign. So I have all this depth in it, right? The bunny in the back, the sign's in the front, and the carrot's in front of that. And we're just mixing and matching these colors just perfectly. I got a little bit of glue that bled over, so we just got that off right there. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side, and we are going to put the bunny all the way to the end in the back, in the front, I'm sorry. So this one comes forward because the egg's going to go in the back. I have to cut off the tail. Here's this bunny's little tail. So cute. One of my favorite things about Easter is putting these colored bunny tails on them. Okay, and then that one, like I said, that's going to go on the front of it, towards the front. And then the egg is going to peek out from the back, and then the orange egg, and then the black and white checkered one will go to the front. So I literally have all these different levels of where these pieces are attached to this. I love this. So then I have the black and white ribbon, and you can see I'm like going to put that back on, of course, because that's sort of, you know, that's obviously the color scheme. But then I pulled out this other ribbon which had all the colors in it, and I was going to, I make the bow and everything, and I left this in here to show you because you could do this. In the end, I don't use it because I just thought, it just takes away from the simplicity of this project and just that individual little pop of color, as opposed to, you know, sometimes we can craft too much, you guys, right? So this is one of those instances where I didn't. I stopped myself, and I'm happy I did. I love this piece. I hope you do too.
And it just all came together so perfectly. So what I really, really love, like, I take 3 of those, put them together, and then you have a nice little substantial piece. Actually, if you want to put like 6 of them together, you'd have a good little chunky piece of Easter. So I'm in love with adding the tails, the colorful tails. You know, that's sort of a thing I do on my channel. I love to add the colorful tails. And I just love how this just is so simple, but very effective. And then technically, I think you feel like you could two-side it. This is one of those pieces of wood. Anyway, because of the silhouettes, it still looks like Easter. Okay, but I think this was super cool. I want to really mention to you guys is sometimes, I'm going to point this out, there's this dimension that comes to it because some things are glued at the very back of the piece, some things are glued at the very front, some are glued to the front of the wood, some to the front of the sign. So I actually end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of depthness on this, which really, really it gives it good dimension. Dimension is one of those words I use all the time. I know, you guys, but I can't come up with another word. Okay, so did I show you how I made this? Yes, I did, yeah. Hate it when I do that. All right, I get talking and then I forgot what I said. So I totally love it. I think it's just really cool. It's a good substantial piece, easy to put out, easy to put away. And I love decoration pieces like that, right? It's just in the box, out of the box. Doesn't take up much space, but it's a good substantial piece. So it's a good decorative, you know, a filler. Okay, and then the final one, we have to have a little farmhouse Easter, right? Oh, I'm in love with these. So let me just show you. Every holiday season, they give us the mason jar cutouts for the holidays, all right? So these, of course, are the Easter ones, but these are two-sided. So, okay, let me just show you how I made these.
There's the originals, and I'm going to pop that aluminum topper thing off of it, and I'm going to take it outside, and I rusted them up. So if you haven't watched my channel before, it's vinegar and salt and what's the other? Hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so, and now I'm going to paint the back side. So, and the sides are already painted on these, but I'm using of white. This is the acrylalgae paint from Dollar Tree, of course. I'm using white and eggnog, and I sort of blend them together because it doesn't give you an absolute solid color. It gives you sort of this dimensional color. And I think I put 2 coats on. And then this is the mason jar stickers, and I'm going to ombre this. So I'm going, and I went really heavy-handed because it didn't work the first time. I kept going over it and going over it. I shouldn't have done this many coats of paint. Doesn't matter. In the end, it all works out. So I just keep trying to ombre it, and then I'm going to set that aside and let that dry. Problem is, by putting so much paint on it, there ended up paint in between my the rows on it. But it all worked out in the end because it just looks sort of vintagey and worn and weathered and all that, which is what I was after. So I've got my ombre. Come on, stop aiming, stop painting, stop doing it. It's like adding more black on the bottom, like, oh, no. Anyway, eventually I pull it to the side to let it dry, and we move on to the next one. Apparently not yet. Okay. So then I'm going to take my stencils, because I've pulled out my stencils, my Dollar Tree stencils. I love this one. I think it's a miniature quilt. And so I'm just going to put the 4 corners on here. And this is where, you guys, you honestly don't have to be super careful when you're stenciling. Because you're doing, unless you're looking for a really clean, crisp look, which I wasn't. I was definitely going for old, battered, torn, worn, antique-ish. And again, I'm using sort of the same colors on all of these, right? So this is sort of the lighter gray. And I don't use the same color on all 4 of these, variations of the same color, right? It's grays, basically. And so I'm using variations on each square because that was the look with all 3 of them. Plus, I didn't have to pull out any more paint because I already had it all there on my dauber. So I'm just going to put those in. You could have done this all the same, monochromatic. Put them all of the squares the same. I just chose to give them all a different variation shade. And then once that's done, watch, I'm going to pull it up. And it does okay, actually. You know, the way to get this to not bleed is to Mod Podge first and then stencil. I didn't care, though, like I said. I was, like, okay with it being a little messy and a little bleeding. So I'm going to pull it up. Boom, boom. There you go. We've got our quilted pattern. Now I'm going to go to this one. And so I'm just going to use elements of this. So local, fresh, and then market, and the little greenery leaves there. In hindsight, I could have done the greenery leaf right now under the local, right? I don't know why I didn't, but okay. And then when I do the fresh, though, I do. So then I had to go back and put the greenery on the other side, FYI, if you happen to decide to make this. Okay, and again, there's my, I'm using my grays, right? My black and my whites, I'm making my grays how I want them. And once I'm done with that, we're going to go back to vintaging these up, sort of, and I'm going to do a little bit of fighting on the one that had the ombre sticker set on it because I put so much paint on them. So here we go. They're not going to stick really well. In the end, it all comes out looking really good, but I did have to end up individually putting these on there, and then see how there's sort of paint in between the lines. It's fine. It all works out. But it just took a little bit. And if I were going to do this again, I wouldn't put as much paint on the stickers. So eventually I get them all on there, and then I throw Mod Podge on them just to help keep them on, because I need to do some sanding so I can pull some of that paint off and get some of the dimensions of the sticker. Because it's like raised. There's raised parts of the sticker. So I want to get that to show through like it's all tattered and worn. I don't know why I showed you so much of this. I should have cut this clip down, but you're gonna watch me do the whole thing. Just lining it up. Again, I'm not looking for perfection, right, guys? It just is, in the end, it looks really good. I'm really happy with how it came out. My ombre is horrible. I didn't get a super good ombre, but it's good enough. And, but it just, yeah, it was a little tedious. That's okay. They kept coming out. Then I had to put them back down. I don't even have enough words to fill this time right now as we're watching me do this ridiculous thing. Okay, so I get them all on there. Come on, Amy. Get the rest of them on. Yeah, I kept trying to adjust them to get it. But see, now look, once they're all on, it looks pretty good, right? The one came off on there. There we go. Put back on. Boom. I mean, it actually looks pretty good. So... and I'm looking at my lines in between, so I just took an X-Acto knife and I just cut away some of that paint that was just in between the lines. And then in the end, I was like, I don't know, it's fine. I'm just going to leave it and not worry about it. but I removed some of it. So I think it looks good, but it's just a lousy ombre job. It's not my forte, apparently. So there's my, I've got the rusted tops now are back in my craft area. And this is a nail file, and I'm just trying to do some, sanding on these. And you can see that sort of the raised edges are coming back up. And they have a little sort of silver tint to them, which is what I was after. But I kept pulling the stickers up. So that's when I went to, all right, let's Mod Podge it. And I end up Mod Podging like sort of my, all around the outside of it. Anyway, it just took a lot. I don't know why I'm showing you so much. Here we go, Mod Podge. I guess because if you want to do it, now you have all the steps down. So I Mod Podge the edge, and then I go back to finishing. I think I'm going to put Market on the other side while this is drying, and then come back to sanding this, and then finishing up the rest of these. So I'm going to let you listen to music while you finish watching me do this, because it's all pretty self-explanatory. The one thing is, when I do the tops on these and make them look like faux aluminum metal tops on these, it is just black and white paint that I'm using. I don't do anything ridiculous. But when I do it, I go back with white, because that always pulls it back out a little bit, makes it look a little bit more galvanized. That's the word I wanted, galvanized. Okay. First, while we're sitting here and I'm talking away and I don't know what I'm saying, I'm now going to vintage this one up. So I'm doing, obviously, some sanding. I want to pull some areas out in the front of that where it'll take in the stain, so it'll look more aged. So this is my shoe polish. Go around all your edges always, and around the sides. And I'm just putting it on there. I'm going to get my wipey. I'm going to wipe some of it off. I'm going to go back and put some more on. And look at that. See how much difference that made? Always more on your edges, right? They're going to be dirty. And then up at the top where I know the bottom of the galvanized is going to be, because that would always be darker. There's my galvanized piece. It came out so good. I love rusting up this galvanized stuff. Again, salt, vinegar, hydrogen peroxide. And now I'm going to make this look galvanized right here. So some black, some white, some to make it gray and multicolored, and I'm just like dabbing my brush in all the colors going back, because that's how you get the effect. It's so easy, you guys. This is just black and white paint. That's all it is. And then just like boom, 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 and you get this mixture of colors and makes it look galvanized. And I usually go back with white over the top just to pop in a few more of those, that dimension of it, right? Look at that. It looks galvanized. All right, so now I'm going to add my second leaf, and then I'm going to put Market on the bottom of this, and I'm going to finish putting them all together. The one thing, once my galvanized part is dry, I do use shoe polish to give it some rust areas, which is another trick you could do with just straight galvanized, and you wouldn't have to go actually rust it. You could just do it with shoe polish or a stain. I know some people use cinnamon. That seems really messy to me, so I've never tried that way. All right, and then that's going to dry. We're going to go back to my diamond one, and I'm going to do some more sanding to finish that off. So now the Mod Podge is dried, and we're going to sand it a little bit more. I'm trying to get, again, the raised portions of that sticker to come through. So, all right, you guys can watch this. I also used the original string on these, and you're going to see me make the things that go on the front of it. I'll come back and tell you about those as you watch me do this up, finish these up. Okay, so now I'm going to pull out these stickers, and I put 2 of them back to back, and then I'm going to cut it to the shape that I want to make my tag. And then I'm just going to crinkle it up. I'm going to put shoe polish all over it, and I'm going to write my words on it. And I'm going to do that for all 3 of these. And you'll notice that on the front of these and the original side, I put a little finger bow of the jute twine. And on this side, I used the original bow twine that they had, which was a little bit thicker, and I just knotted the ends and tied it around it. I like that look as opposed to putting a bow there. And now I'm going to write on this one, sewing needles. This is when I realized I didn't have the right marker for what I needed, but that's okay, I made it work. So I'm going to write sewing needles on this one and then loop that on there. So I'm going to take a piece of jute twine, I'm going to make a loop, knot it together, I'm going to push it through and then knot it together, because I don't know what you call it when you, it's going to go under and then over the tag. That doesn't sound very descriptive, but basically that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the loop part, I'm going to go under my string on my thing right there, and then I'm going to loop it over the thing. There's a name for what I'm going to do there. So that's just a simple knot. And I'm going to cut it pretty short, and then that's going to be on the front of the tag. Pull through, see, like that. Now I'm going to go under right there, and then I'm going to come over my tag and put it through. And there you go. Now it was a little long, so actually I think, did I shorten this one up? I think I do. I just make my knot a little bit higher up, so it's a little bit shorter. Anyway, that was how that was done. And I'm going to do the rest of these, and then that's it, except for the little embellishments that we're going to put on here. We'll come back for that. Now we're going to make the little spool of thread. So this is a skewer, and I took the smallest little beads I could find, and I shoved one in, and then I got some gray thread, because of course I have to have gray because I need it to match, right? I guess I could have used black thread as well, but I'm trying to find the end of my thread there. But what I'm going to do is then glue a little a little tiny bead on the end of this skewer, and then cut off the skewer, and I'm going to have this tiny little spool. So right now I'm just putting the thread on, getting that on there, twisting, 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 and then I'll put the little bead on the end. This is like, I love making miniatures. It's like the cutest little miniature ever. But then I had to get my little glue, put that bead on, there we go. And then, but I want to put a needle, I want to thread the needle and put it into the spool. So I had to go into my sewing kit and get my old needle threader thing, I don't know what those are called, and thread that through and find the smallest needle I could find ever, like the smallest needle. And if I hadn't, I was just going to take a piece of wire and make it look like a needle, which also would have worked, FYI. So anyway, I think this came out super cute, and it's like such a cute little miniature. I'm done with my thread, cut that off. And now I'm going to cut my skewer off, and ba-bam, now I have this little tiny spool of thread. Just sanded that down a little bit, and I'm going to take my shoe polish and stain it up as well. So just a little tiny bit of color on that, those natural wood beads. And then get our little needle on there, and I'm going to finish embellishing the rest of these, just with a little greenery and a little button. So, and that's it. Then this craft will be done. This is a little bit longer craft. It was pretty involved, but it's really, I love them. I'm keeping them. So I hope you guys like them as well. You can finish watching me do the final touches on these.
These are a lot more work. These took a little bit of time. But I'm going to just, one by one, I'm going to just sort of talk to you guys about them a little bit. First of all, obviously I vintaged them. And this looks like galvanized, doesn't it? Of course, the galvanized is actually over here, but that paint job really does. And just by throwing a little tiny bit of shoe polish in there, I could really get it to look even like it's got rust on it. The string is the original string that I used, but this was the thing that gave me so much trouble. But doesn't it look cool? So you can see those raised parts of that sticker. I love this. This is the buttons one, and of course it got a little button. And by aging these, I just think it brings them from sort of cheesy looking to just I don't know, a little more farmhouse actually. But I have 3 of these, and I can put them in my kitchen, on a bookshelf, whatever. Then of course the herbs one, so local, fresh, market, and just added a tiny little bit of greenery on there, like the herbs. And of course, again, this looks like it's galvanized, but it's not. It's, what is it? If you think it's butter, but it's not. It's chiffon. What was it? Somebody in the comments tell me. Okay, but this one is my favorite. So I absolutely love this stencil that's like the mini crafting. So of course, quilting. So of course, sewing needles just look like something that would be in here. But I'm in love with, you're just watching me make it, this cute little needle and thread thing. It's like a little tiny little spool of thread. Anyway, I just think these came out so cool. And again, my rust formula is hydrogen peroxide, equal parts to vinegar, and then you dump a bunch of salt in there. And really, when you do that, the salt sort of gives it this rough edge on it. And I don't know, I think it's the vinegar that does the rust, but anyway, that mix works the best. So this is my favorite today, you guys. Absolutely my favorite. I love them. Okay. And they can go either way. They're a 2-sider, so I'm going to put them up. At Easter, I'll flip them around. Okay, so which one down below is your favorite? Please let me know. I think probably, I don't know. The house is really cool. And even the modern Easter piece is just so, and I love showing you these things that really anybody can do. It's just how you put the things together that can make all the difference in the world. That welcome sign, when I bought it, and I remember thinking like, oh, for a wreath or something. But what a great, oh, I just busted my egg. That's okay. What a great way to use this piece, right? I gotta go glue my egg back on. Oh, well. Anyway, so this is just really cool. Because I didn't use wood glue. I did a really hurry glue job with just hot glue. Technically, I would use wood glue normally. I was just in a hurry. Okay, so which one of those is your favorite, you guys? All right. Everybody, have a great day, a great week, a great life. And don't forget, give me that big thumbs up. No, I'm not hitchhiking. Thumbs up. If you like this video, and if you don't, just don't give it a thumbs down. And then also, please leave a comment down below, because that really does help grow the channel. I know lots of you watch on your TVs, and so that's harder, but at least give it a thumbs up. Okay, and then consider subscribing if you like me, if you really like me. You don't have to like me, you just have to like the crafts that I show you. All right, and hopefully we all learned something from watching these videos, I would hope. I teach you some little crafting trick you didn't know before, maybe. All right, everybody, so let's see. From your singing crafty crafter, here comes the sun, do-do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say, let's go to your local Dollar Tree. It didn't work. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, everybody. Happy hunting at your local Dollar Tree. I'll see you next time, besties. Bye-bye.